There have been bullies around from the beginning of time, but with the rise of the internet, bullies can spread their venom far and wide these days. One girl had a very difficult time until some strangers reached out with a helping and comforting hand. Here's NBC's John Larson.
There's no reason life for 14-year-old Olivia Gardner and her mom should have turned ugly.
What are you doing? What are you doing?
But something happened 2 years ago at Olivia's school. One day in class, Olivia had an epileptic seizure. As if that wasn't scary enough, some of her classmates began calling her names and making threats. And then it got worse.
She had to hide in bathroom stalls between classes. The lunch lady let her come in behind the counter at lunch because they beat her up, because they took her new backpack and dragged it through the mud. They wouldn't let up.
Then someone started an Olivia haters club on the internet with pornographic emails, and kids began wearing Die Olivia wristbands.
I felt suicidal. I felt depressed. It was terrible.
There was nothing I could say. You know, I love you, you're beautiful, you're a valuable child of God. You know what? It's not you, it's them. I couldn't get through.
Olivia changed schools twice, but the bullying followed her. But then a local newspaper wrote a story about it, and two sisters who'd never met Olivia read the article.
It's so mean.
Emily and Sarah Booter wrote kind letters to Olivia.
We just wanted it to be real to her, that people were there for her, and that she wasn't alone.
Their friends wrote Olivia too, and word got out. Letters of support started arriving from all over the country, not dozens or hundreds.
I think it's more like 1,000.
Thousands.
Yeah.
Kids, grandparents from all over the world sharing stories with Olivia about how they too had been bullied.
There are so many good people in the world, but unfortunately it seems to be the bad ones that have the most impact on the course of our lives.
And slowly, Olivia began to heal.
She's coming back. Her spirit's there again.
Now, Olivia is helping other struggling girls on the internet, telling them how bullies made her life feel like prison, but how two girls' kindness set her free. For today, John Larson, NBC News, Los Angeles.
Olivia Gardner and her mother Kathleen are here along with hundreds of Olivia's letters. And Rosalind Wiseman is a teen and parenting expert and the author of Queen Bee, Moms and Kingpin Dads. Good morning to all of you.
Good morning.
I think just watching that, you started crying because you were reliving some of the pain your daughter was going through, but also you were going through watching her go through this.
So difficult.
And you don't know what to say in the face of such cruelty.
No, and you try. You go to the authorities, you go to the schools, you call the parents, and a lot of the parents even just told me they didn't have time for it. They didn't care. It was typical middle school behavior. But when you watch your child just disappearing, losing interest in all their activities, and then finding out that she had a plan for suicide, you know, it's heartbreaking.
It is. Olivia, you're listening to your mom, who loves you so much, who saw you in this state. How are you feeling now that you've seen the other side?
I am feeling so wonderful that there's so much support. Like, there's 100 good people for every bad person that there is in this world.
And if you hadn't have seen that, if you had made that choice to hurt yourself, what a waste that would have been.
Yep.
And you came how close, would you say?
I was almost there. Every night I'd have suicidal thoughts. It was terrible.
Almost every night?
Yeah, I was thinking of ways to do it, and it was just the worst thing ever.
Okay, so we need to know when our kids are in this state, because bullying is rampant today, as it has been perhaps more now with the internet, Rosalind, what we have to look out for, because we don't want our children to be in this state.
And to feel that miserable.
Isolation, signs of isolation.
Absolutely, that you've got where the kid feels they're completely alone.
Change of appetite.
Where they're either eating a lot, because they're eating their feelings, basically, or they've completely stopped eating.
Avoidance of social situations.
Because they're terrified of what's going to happen when they're in them.
And also excuses for avoiding school. Now, a lot of kids have excuses for avoiding school. But
that's why it's so tricky, right? But it's like, I've got a really bad stomach ache, I can't come to school. Lots of times parents get so worried about, well, my kid won't get out of bed, they're so late, they're so lazy, all of that. But there's always a good reason for why kids do the things that they do.
A drastic change in social life, meaning?
Meaning that they used to have a lot of friends, but now they don't. Or now the other part of this is that kids are really good at covering because they don't want to worry their parents. And so it also could be that your kids don't have some of those symptoms. So what I would say if I was a parent listening to this is go talk to your kid and say, look, I don't know if this is happening to you or if it's ever going to happen to you, but if somebody ever makes you feel like dirt, you don't have to deal with that. You have the right to walk in the school.
Be proactive.
Absolutely.
Don't wait for the symptoms. Be proactive. You
and
were
some
proactive,
problems
Kathleen,
are too big.
because you basically moved your daughter as soon as you felt that this was going on.
Well, her doctor had her taken out and for half of the year put on home hospital because she started having anxiety attacks and she was hiding in the bathroom between classes. I had to walk her from class to class, and the lunch lady took her in behind the counter because they were threatening her and threatening to break every bone in her body. And I actually found a lot out I walked into a slumber party to drop her off one night, and all the girls there started telling me all this stuff that they were doing to her. She hadn't told me because they had threatened her that if she told me or the school, they would kill her. And so all of a sudden this came up, and then it became where she was crying when I would pick her up from school, and she would just start telling me things, and it was just, I was vigilant about it.
Well, there's no excuse for being bullied. No matter it was at 3 different schools, but there's no ever excuse for being bullied ever. I know that these letters touched you, and there was one from a little girl specifically, Olivia.
Yes.
What did she say to you?
There was this little girl from the Good Shepherd Lutheran School. Her name is Deja, and she's a young child, and it was the cutest letter ever. Like, it was lending support, and like, she was just like, oh, and remember, it's not nice to bully people, and it's like the cutest thing ever.
So that's the other side, Kathleen. Look,
Yeah.
I know that you've been also going through a very tough time through all of this. You've been
on
enduring
chemotherapy.
fighting cancer. This is the thing people don't get. If we understood the suffering of others, we would not even think to do this. Olivia, best wishes to you. Thank you for being here this morning, because I know you're trying to help other people in doing this. Thank
Thanks
you, both
so
of you,
much.
and also Rosalind for your great advice this
My
morning.
pleasure.